Security is essential for any meaningful development to take place, whether in a country or even at home. We need peace to be able to survive. That should be the watchword of everybody, anywhere you are. I want to welcome you today to the program Security Watch Africa. Only on this station, the AfricaTelevision, you get that information you need to keep your life safe and secure. Welcome to the program today. During the week, a lot of things happened that quite show that there is need for us to take issue of security more seriously. Some reports of incidents in Zamfara states and some states from what we got from some states in the north, south area, particularly Cross River. It's something that needs urgent attention. But we're happy that something is being done from the information we gathered, and we hope that all security agencies that are responsible for maintenance of law and order and security must do the needful to ensure that Nigerians live with their lives safe and secured. During the week also, there was an emergency security conference that was convocated by the Honorable Minister of Interior, General Dan Bazao, where he marshaled out what the government wants to do. And the attendants were officers, senior officers and command officers from the Nigerian Police, from the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, from Immigration Service, from the Armed Forces. They were all present to look that as a follow-up to the security meeting held with Mr. President and all the service chiefs. I believe that the resolution of that conference should help to ensure that we witness peace in this country, because Nigeria needs peace for development. We want to join the call that a lot of politicians that are trying to heat up the polity by their utterances or by their actions should please be mindful that if a country is in flame, if Nigeria is in flame, there can't be any development. If you will not be, it won't be possible for you to even rule your people. So there is need for us to ensure peace. There is need for us to preach peace at all times. We need to emulate from some countries that have shown that peace is very, very essential. Kenya recently, before the election, there was the coming together of those, both the opposition and the government, that agreed that there must be peace. Their utterances were guided by some principle, and the election came, and we can see that Kenya is witnessing some level of development. That is what Nigeria needs, and that is what Security Watch Africa and AIT is preaching, that we need peace so that we can survive in this country. Yes, I want to welcome on board the new Director of Public Relations and Information of the Nigerian Air Force, talking about Air Commodore Ibukunle Daramola. You're welcome. I know that the shoes that your predecessor left is so big, but we hope that God will help you to be able to match that shoe and do even better than he did. The former director did so well. He took public relations in the Air Force to a higher level, and I must say that it's quite commendable. And so we want to implore you to emulate what Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesoya did, and even do better than what he did. On that note, we must say that today is another exciting edition, and we want to bring you one thing that we think is very, very important. Still talking about issue of peace. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Yusuf Buratai, did plead with Nigerians and to be able to help to ensure that there's security in the country. We have a report put together by Security Watch Africa, Ernest Enenuku, on that. Sit back as we bring you this report.
The sustenance of peace in Nigeria, especially in the troubled zones of the country, requires the full cooperation of everyone to aid those who are charged with the responsibility of keeping the country safe. The need for the public to provide useful information to the security agencies cannot be overemphasized. The degrading of Boko Haram terrorist sects in the northeastern part of Nigeria came with a huge price that has left many families without their breadwinners. Officers and soldiers of the Nigerian army fought day and night, with many losing their lives and many others still in a hospital to ensure the liberation of the Northeast. The victory gained through these gallant officers and soldiers has led to the return of thousands of internally displaced persons to their ancestral homes and as a result back to their source of livelihood, especially farming, which have been abandoned and lands gone fallow for many years now. The Nigerian president, Muhammadu Buhari, had recently, at the grand finale of the Nigerian Army Day celebration, NATSA 2018, held in Mungunu, Borno State, commended Nigerian armed forces, particularly the army, for totally degrading the Boko Haram terrorism and declared that the fight has entered the post-victory stage that will lead to final elimination of the Boko Haram elements from the Nigerian northeast.
It is evident that we are in the post-conflict stabilization phase, which has been made possible by the good work of the armed forces. I therefore task all other relevant government agencies with immediate effect to begin to perform their respective roles in this post-stabilization phase.
With normalcy finally returning to Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states, sustaining the current peace must be of utmost concern and responsibility of all well-meaning Nigerians. The Nigerian Army, under the leadership of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukuyusu Buratai, has called on religious, traditional, and community leaders, as well as all law-abiding Nigerians, to help dissuade people from donating their children and wards to Boko Haram terrorists for indoctrination and suicide bombing mission. This was in response to recent revelations by some intercepted female suicide bombers during interrogations. It was discovered that some of these hapless minors were donated to the terrorist sect by their heartless, misguided parents and guardians willingly or out of fear. General Buratai, during an interview with Security Watch Africa, solicited the support of civil police to help sustain the victory over Boko Haram.
These terrorists will always like to cause maximum damage, and they also live within the population. And they are not far away. They sneak in and out of the population, or some of them have hidden areas in slums and in remote areas within the city centers and so on. Is the responsibility of every Nigerian as a civic responsibility by every Nigerian to see that they report such individuals to be involved in this type of antisocial activities or the terrorism that are involved, any suspected person. This is very, very important. I think this is the minimum the ordinary Nigerian should do to the security agencies to ensure they get information and then pass them quickly for necessary action. Our role, as you can see, when it comes to internal security, is to support the civil police, and this do, and we expect them to also prosecute all those that have been arrested, in connection with any form of criminality or any terrorism, and so on. This is what the support will require from the police seriously, and if we do that, I think we'll be able to solve so many of the challenges that we are facing in our country.
Consequently, the public are expected to be more vigilant, security conscious, and report any suspicious persons or those whose daughters or female wards are missing or have not been seen recently.
Welcome back. Yeah, there's need for us all to put our hands on deck and ensure that there is security. Like the Chief of Army Staff did say, report any suspicious person to the law enforcement agencies. Gone are the days where you feel that people say that when you report anybody that to the security agencies, then the criminal will get the information. Now there are better ways of sending your report to the security agencies without even being identified. And I'm sure that actions will be taken. A lot of people are reporting, and we're getting a lot of results currently in the country. So we must strive for peace, and peace we must get so that we can have that development that we look forward to. So we can be like those people in advanced country, in developed country. They were at once at our level, but the people rallied around together and made their country developed. So we must and we should do it better. Yes, like we say, part of the things, what we do here in Security Watch Africa and that communication is to ensure that our security agencies and all those that are charged with security do the needful. And that is why we are preaching this message to you today. Then we have our program in which we appreciate those who are working so hard to ensure that you and I sleep with our two eyes closed and we do our business without molestation. Security Watch Africa, about 15 years ago, commenced the Africa Security Watch Awards Conference and the exhibition. Today we are marking the 15th edition of it, and the event will be done later on in the year. But nominations, like we have called, are beginning to come in, and those who have been nominated are already been notified. So if you still have not nominated, those you think have done so well, please feel free to nominate. Use our social media platforms to send us your nominations or what you think should be done, or send your emails to us so that we can get to those people you feel have done so well. But those who have gotten their nomination letter, we have a report that we'll put together for them, for you to know some of those that are already been nominated.
The call to serve one's fatherland is usually an enormous task that comes with lots of responsibilities. It requires dedication, commitment to deliver on a given mandate. In a society where hard work and honesty seem not to be valued by many, but much value placed on how much an individual amassed for himself as a result of the office one is occupying. The continent of Africa today is faced with lots of security challenges, and this has further put more burden on security forces of various countries of Africa to ensure the safety of lives and properties of its citizens. The security, in trying to carry out their responsibility of protecting lives and properties of citizens, sometimes perform far below expectations, and these have put these agencies in bad light before members of the public whom they sworn to protect and defend. Security Watch Africa, since 1997, has continued to bridge the gap between security agencies and members of the public as part of its corporate social responsibility. And these, over the years, have helped to reorganize, reorient, and re-energize operations of security agencies and their personnel in carrying out their duties. Since 2004, Security Watch Africa has put in place mechanisms to appreciate and encourage officers that have distinguished themselves in their call of duty through the Africa Security Watch Awards and Conference. The annual project, which is in its 15th edition, has been accepted all over the world, with endorsement from reputable personalities across the globe, as a strong partner, Stellenbosch in Africa, the university ranked as the second best in Africa. The 2018 edition of the Africa Security Watch Awards and Conference, holding in Banjul, the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa, where the Africa best in security, safety, aviation, environment, shelter, maritime and governance will converge to celebrate excellence. Awards nominations are on and letters are being delivered to the nominees. The commander, Igune Special Squad of Delta State Police Command, DSP Usman Dimka, is one of the hardworking and result-oriented police officers to be nominated.
I think this award will make me to do more in crime fighting, and by the special grace of God, my subordinates will also do the same. Thank you very much for supporting the
The Commissioners of Police, Ekiti and Delta States, CP Bello Ahmed and CP Mustafa Mohammed, recently received their letters of nomination. This to say,
I honestly don't do things to impress anybody, but to always be guided by the ethics and norms of my job and my conscience. And I believe that is what led me to this situation, and I never believe anybody is watching me other than the God Almighty. And I don't know which yardstick the Security Watch Africa use to measure me to get to this height. But all the same, what goes around comes around, and whatever one does, that goes to show people are watching, and God Almighty, who is the final end, is watching.
Security Watch and awarded. So I want to commend you for your efforts in bringing out the best, most especially now that you see the best in the police force are not being assessed. So we thank you very much for taking your time, for, singling yourself out to do just that. What others, neglected to do. So commend you for that.
Welcome back. I must say that nomination is on. You still have about 2 weeks for us to close the nomination, so you can nominate any officer, not only the Nigerian police, all the security services, and even those who provide auxiliary services to security, like you had in the report, those even in shelter, because shelter is part of security. Environment, harmful environment can endanger people's lives. So those who are making sure that our environment is safer can also. We are getting nomination from across Africa already, and the committee, at the end of the nomination, the committee will sit down to check and conclude on who gets that award. You can see even younger officers and junior officers are getting the award. Like there's an inspector of police who is also being nominated. There is a staff sergeant of the Nigerian Army who is also being nominated. So not only the senior officers, you also saw there DSP Usman Dinka doing a wonderful job in Delta State. And for next week, we'll be bringing you more about the DSP Dimka, what he's doing as even an officer, using his own personal money to construct office complex for the Nigerian police. He deserves all commendation that he needs. We'll go to, with the Security Watch Africa visited one of the states in the northeast zone of Nigeria to find out how has the state been able to maintain peace and use it as a yardstick for other states to emulate. The jewel in the savannah called Gombe State. Sit back as we bring you the report on Gombe State Police.
When the states of the northeast of Nigeria are to be mentioned, the states of Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa readily come to mind, most probably because of insurgency and terrorism activities. Gombe State, known as the Jewel of the Savannah, is also part of the northeast zone of Nigeria, but because the state have managed to remain safe from the onslaught of Boko Haram terrorists, majorly due to the resilience and willingness of the people to resist the deadly set, who had attacked the state on 2 occasions. The people of Gombe State have continued to survive lots of security challenges due to the proactiveness of the men and officers of the State Police Command under the leadership of the Commissioner of Police, CP Shina Olukolu. Security Watch Africa crew visited Gombe State to find out how it has been able to sustain the peace in the state despite the terror experienced by their neighbors as a result of Boko Haram insurgency.
On assumption of my duties here as the Commissioner of Police Gombe State Command, one of the first steps I took was to follow strictly part of the directives of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Ibrahim K. Idris, NPM MNI, that community policing is the way to go. And we've been able to sell this idea to all the institutions, both traditional and political leadership in the state, the community in general. And they have bought into it, and we are working on it. So they are partnering with us, they are working with the command, and in that wise, we've been able collectively, with the support of the government, to serve the people better and they see the results. We have been very, very proactive, and we have emplaced measures, security measures, that ensure that whatever is happening anywhere, the people are always ready to partner with us. And the government and the good people of Gombe State have continued to believe in us. They have continued to collaborate with us. The traditional institutions are not left behind. They have always continued to work with us, because whatever happens anywhere, within the twinkle of an eye, we have the information. And they are always ready to give us genuine and useful information, which we work upon. And we appeal to them that at all times, they should allow the security agencies, the police in this instance, to perform their constitutional responsibilities. And we assure them that we are ready to deliver the services to them.
Gombe State, largely an agrarian, one of the leading states that contributes to the food production needs of Nigeria, is also described by many to be the largest livestock market in West Africa, but yet hardly experience the usual farmers-herders clashes that has claimed many lives in some states of the Federation. How has the security agencies in the state, especially the police, managed to coordinate these two important groups in the state without allowing any of them cause crisis that will lead to loss of lives, as it is in some states?
When I assumed duties, we hit the ground running, because it was towards that period when herders, farmers clash used to occur. And we sensitize both the farmers and the herders separately, collectively, together with other members of the community, the leaders in the community, including the youths. As such, there is a robust relationship between Gombe State and the neighboring states where these cattle either come from or are passing through. And the contributions of the government of the state and the local government chairman, the traditional rulers in this instance, cannot be ruled out. Because we used to form a group of security agencies, including some of the local vigilantes, and we work together in tandem with the community elders, the herders, and the farmers. Sometimes when it is time for the movement of the cattle, they reach out to us themselves, and we reach out to the farmers. And we tell them, look, within this period and this period, hold on, let the farmers evacuate their products. And the farmers, sometimes, most of the time, will evacuate their products from the farms. The remnants, the local government sometimes do pay for them. And the farmer and the herders will take in those remnants, and at the same time, the animals drop their own fertilizer. So it's like a rub my back, I rub your back, a symbiotic relationship existed. The traditional rulers also assist the police to reach out to their own colleagues across the borders of the state, just as the police reaches out to our colleagues around the neighboring states. Once these people are on the move, we have points where policemen, security agencies, and community leaders and the youths are stationed. If there is going to be any clash at all, at the local level, the DPOs have bought into this, the area commanders have bought into this, and everybody is on the lookout for flashy areas where there are likely to be clashes, points of contact. Sometimes they provide water for them along the route. So there is no need for the animals and their herders to enter into the township. They go along their route, and like that, we've been able to manage the situation. We must thank the local government chairmen for their role, thank the state government for their role, and the policemen who stay out there day and night, ensuring that there is no breach of the peace between the farmers and the herders.
There was also the challenge of gangsterism in the state. A group of boys, known as cavalry boys, these boys tend to utilize political situations to their advantage by selling themselves to politicians who use them either to intimidate their opponent or show supremacy for political gains.
When I came in, I also heard about the issue of these cavalry boys. And reviewing the situation, we discover that some of them, they hang around with their leadership, and we sensitize some of the youths, the leadership, the members of the community, and all stakeholders to the fact that Kalari boys will not be tolerated. And this gangsterism must stop. After the sensitization, we roll out our own security plans. We have tactical operational points, aside from the patrol teams and the special anti-robbery squad, who also move out in case they commit any violent crime. But let me assure you that many of them have been arrested. The DPOs go on constant raiding. Many have been arrested. Many have been charged to court, and there are a series of convictions. In the last 6 or 7 months, I can say there are about 104 of them behind bars, and many are still being prosecuted.
Oh, welcome back. How time flies. Unfortunately, we won't be able to conclude this report this week, but next week, God's willing, we'll continue with where it stops so we can learn more from what is happening in Gombe State. There are a lot of lessons that other states must simulate. The issue of managing these hiders and farmers classes, you must emulate what Gombe State and Enugu State is doing, particularly to ensure that there is peace. We must imbibe peace in all we do. We must leave for other programs to continue because time is of essence. Until we come your way again next week, I would say thanks for staying tuned, and don't change your dial. Remain on this channel. That is the only way you can get the information, because we are the window to Africa. We'll give you the information you need on AIT. Until we come your way again next week, I say bye for now and remain blessed.